God's Wisdom, Week 18, April 30th through May 6th. For the foolishness of God is wiser than human wisdom, and the weakness of God is stronger than human strength. 1 Corinthians 1, verse 25. Over the course of my life, God has blessed me with many friends, and that group has been incredibly diverse. I have friends that were born all over the country, and even in other nations, with different backgrounds and experiences. They've had a variety of professions, skills, and hobbies, and they've possessed a wide array of personality types, senses of humor, and levels of intelligence. Despite all of those differences, though, there has been one commonality. They have all, to varying degrees, cared about me. Otherwise, I wouldn't consider them to be friends. I know that if I called any of them up with a problem, they would all do their best to aid me, and they certainly would give me some friendly, well-intentioned advice if I asked. The truth is, however, that depending upon my problem, I wouldn't actually seek counsel from all of them. But why, if I do trust that all of my friends have my best interest at heart, do I not trust the counsel of all of my friends in the exact same way? The answer is because good intentions do not always equate to wise choices. It's why someone, somewhere along the way, coined the saying, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions." Just because we may trust that someone has our best interest at heart, it doesn't mean that their counsel is the best course of action. It's quite possible that what they think is best is actually a horrible idea. As Proverbs 14:12 states, "There is a way that seems right to man, but in the end it leads to death." So, for example, if I had a non-Christian friend who was an accomplished mechanic, then I would, without a doubt, seek his advice in that area of expertise. However, I would not ask for his counsel in deeper, more existential matters of the heart, mind, and soul. Most likely, I would not ask him for his input with regard to whom I should date or marry, or what I should do with the money with which God has blessed me, or if I should serve God in a specific ministry. And the reason I would be hesitant is because, according to the Bible, my mechanic friend is not wise. Remember the verse of Scripture from my very first lesson. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Proverbs 9:10. Meaning that, while I could trust that my mechanic friend wants good things for me, I can't trust that his advice is actually full of wisdom, because he does not know and revere God. So, what does all of this have to do with Paul's verse at the top of the lesson? I don't believe that the apostle is implying that God is either foolish or weak. Rather, he's using a tongue-in-cheek manner of writing to convey the truth that God is infinitely wise. So wise that if God could make foolish decisions, even those decisions would be wiser than the decisions of the wisest of men. And that truth, that God is infinitely wise, is vitally important to me. If God were not all-wise, then just like my non-Christian mechanic friend, I could never truly trust that his plans were the best. What if he's wrong, I'd ask myself. God states, for example, that his design for sex is that it only be enjoyed within the confines of marriage. But what if he's mistaken about that? What if I know better than he does? If God were not all-wise, then I might still worship him and want a relationship with him, especially given the fact that he is the God of love. However, I could never truly trust that what he said was the wisest course of action for my life. But the Bible is clear that God is all-wise, and his infinite wisdom is one of the many reasons why I do trust him. Specifically, trust that his promises, commands, and plans are the best and wisest. I may not always understand those plans, and without a doubt my sinful nature hates his commands. Regardless, though, I can always trust that they are the wisest course for me to follow. Gracious Father, I praise you and I recognize you as the all-wise God. I confess that the depth of the riches of your wisdom is unsearchable and unfathomable. Romans 11:33. I am grateful that you, in your word, have given us your commands and revealed to us your plans. And I trust that those instructions are the wisest course of action for my life. I humbly ask that you would help me today, by the power of your Spirit, to actually obey those commands, for your glory and my good. You, Father, truly do know best.